All right, greetings everybody, and welcome to week number 15. That is right, week number 15 of your 7314 class, which is your reference class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. J.S.K. Austin, and the first thing that I'm going to say is you made it. That is right, you made it. This is the final check-in video for the class. This is the final regular week, quote unquote, regular week for the class. And yeah, I know it's been tough for a lot of you. I know the world is crazy. I know uh domestically things are crazy. I know school wise for a lot of you things are crazy. I know that personal life for a lot of you is crazy. But just know you made it, you kept it together, and you need to give yourself a little bit of applause for that. I know that things have not been easy for a lot of you all, and things have not been easy for me either, but there is. I'm not one of these types of people who feels that resilience is a bad thing, okay? I think that resilience is part of the human condition, and I think that it's something that, personally, I applaud resilience. So when I see students, don't get me wrong, I wish that none of my students ever had hardships or anything like that, but that is reality. That is just life. It's just something that comes along with the territory. And so when I see that my students make it through hard times, when I see that my students still are able to hold it down, still able to be successful in school, even while they're holding down full-time jobs, even while they're holding down families, even while they're holding down just keeping it together as they watch this world just come to whatever's going on in this world, right? Give yourself some credit, give yourself some praise, give yourself some grace, give yourself whatever you need in order to be able to say, I made it and I'm proud of myself for making it, because y'all are bad. Let me just tell you, y'all are bad for making it through everything that got thrown at you during this semester. And unfortunately, it's probably going to keep going as far as the international front and what's going on with that, what's going on with Iran, what's going on with Russia, China, all of the things. It is not pretty out there. Venezuela, Nigeria, you name it. But through it all, we are going to, again, things are going to continue to probably be tumultuous through the summer, but you all are keeping it together, and that's something that you should all be proud of yourselves for that. So, having said this, in my farewell check-in video for the 7314 class, what I first want to say is, just thank you for spending this time with me throughout this semester. Thank you for, just I really do enjoy this job. I really do enjoy teaching. I really do enjoy communicating with my students. You all are. I know it's kind of a pathetic thing to say, but you all are what I have. You know what I'm saying? I I'm not going to say I see y'all as friends, because there is a professional relationship here and you don't want to blur professional with friendship too much. But I'm still going to say, I care about every last one of you. And yeah, if it weren't for y'all, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. If it weren't for y'all, I don't know who I'd be communicating with. It's y'all. It's y'all. Now I will say that I'm hoping that, especially for you all that haven't, if you haven't hit middle age yet, I am going to say that I hope that when you do hit middle age, which is where I'm at right now, that you have other people to communicate with other than those that you work with and work for. But having said that, you get the connections that you need wherever you can get them. And I've certainly I've taken some comfort in having the connections with the students that I have. And so I do hope that some of you will agree to take other classes with me while you are in the program. So having said that, let's get into a state of the course update, and then I'm going to tell you two classes that I recommend that you take if you are trying to be a public services librarian in any capacity. Well, mainly public and academic libraries, not so much K-12, but if you want to work in public or academic libraries, there are two courses that I'm going to recommend, and we will get to that soon. But first, state of the course. Look at that. This is all you have left, this semester-long project. And so that semester-long project will be due, I want this to be clear, it is due on the 8th. So that is this coming Friday. So it's not due on Sunday, it is due on Friday. Now, having said that, If you turn it in on Sunday, you're probably not going to lose points, okay? If you turn it in after Sunday, yes, you will be losing points. But it is technically due on Friday. Consider Saturday and Sunday a little bit of a grace period. But this is all you have left. Is a semester-long project. I will still be watching emails, and so if you have any questions about the semester-long project, by all means, get in touch with me. You can send me a Canvas message. That's preferable, but you can also send me an email, or you can shoot something in the questions discussion board post. So by all means, whatever it takes for you to get in touch with me, do what you got to do in order to get the information you need and the clarity that you need. As you all have noticed, I've graded most of the LibGuides. There are still two that are outstanding between the two sections. I'll get to you soon. So what I have left to grade are the semester-long projects. Excuse me. Oh, I know that was gross. Sorry. Are the semester-long projects, and then also discussion board prompts number 6 and number 7. And I will be grading those very, very soon. So, just stay tuned and you'll get your grades for those very, very soon. But other than that, yeah, pretty much everything is graded except for 2 discussion board posts, and then also the semester-long project, which of course isn't even due yet. So of course I haven't graded those yet. But yeah, we will be getting those graded out soon, and I will have your final grades soon. And most of you, I will say that most of you are between the 2 sections. Yes, most of you at least have an A-. There will be a few B's. But as long as you all do well on the semester-long project, I don't anticipate there being very many B's. There are 1 or 2 of you who are kind of in the C-ish, F-ish range, but, I'm going to work with you. If you do what you can with the semester-long project, we're going to try to do what we can in order to keep you in good standing, because as you all know, if you get 2 C's, you're out of the program, and we don't want that. So I'm going to work with you to try to avoid you having to see on anything, and we're gonna do what we can to, again, ensure your success as much as possible. Okay. So now, having said this, again, I'm the reference, I own the reference course. I am the referencee librarian, so to speak, for this course. I'm preparing you all for public services work and a lot of the stuff that I do. Having said that, now, if you are a K-12 librarian or a special librarian of any sort, or if you're an archivist, if you're on one of those types of tracks, then this may not apply to you as much, and you'll have those special M1s that you need to pay attention to if you're trying to be a youth services librarian. Also, you've got a particular M1 for that. But for those of you who don't know what you want to do, but you know that you're likely going to end up working with the public, either in a public library or an academic library, there are actually 2 courses that I would like to recommend to you right now. And I actually teach one of those courses, so I am hoping that some of you are willing to take courses with me again. I hope I've made a good impression. I really hope so, because I do want to see you all in other courses again. And so right now I'm going to tell you what those courses are, and I will hope that you will take both of these classes if you anticipate that you're going to be doing something in public services. So let's go ahead and get over here. The first one is going to be 9416. Health and medical information and service in libraries. Here's the thing. I want you all to realize that even if you're not specifically a medical librarian, if you're not specifically a nursing librarian, which those are specialized librarians that you find all over the place, but even if you don't fall into one of those categories specifically, you will get health information questions if you work at a public library. You will get health information questions and nursing questions and all types of questions if you work at an academic library. The thing with academic librarianship that I want you all to be aware of is that you're going to get it all. So even if you are not the subject liaison for a particular program, you are still likely to get students who are from nursing programs and they need help with a nursing question related to nursing in their program. Or you might, if you are at a R1 or at a school with a medical school or something like that, even if you could definitely be totally the English librarian, and you can be like the humanities liaison librarian, and still at some point you are going to field a heavy duty medical library question, and you are going to be like, and so if you don't want that, moment, then what you should do is you should take 9416, and 9416 will help you avoid that type of discomfort. It'll get your feet wet and let you know what the things that you're going to need to know in order to deliver good reference service within a medical, nursing, health, library type situation, okay? And even at the community college level, because then I do want some of you to hopefully think about going into community college librarianship. And I really, really enjoyed community college librarianship. It was my favorite librarian job, actually. And even if you go into community college librarianship, what you may not know is that a lot of community colleges still also do run large nursing programs, and their students come in for nursing assistance a lot, okay? So yes, that is a good course to take if you are going to be a public or an academic librarian. Now, when you work in the public library, it's going to be a free-for-all. You're going to be asked about pretty much anything. The second class that I'm going to point you to is a class that I teach every other year. So every other spring, I teach not academic libraries. There we go. Business, service for business communities and entrepreneurs. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a former business librarian for Coastal Carolina University in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Yes, I left Myrtle Beach to move to Missouri. I'm glad I did it career-wise, profession-wise, because yeah, I'm putting my degree to use here. But I will also say, you know, living in Myrtle Beach totally rocks, and living in Kansas City, it's an acquired taste. But having said that, what you need to do is think about the fact that you will also field business questions, okay? You could totally, again, you could be the English liaison or the humanities liaison, the African American studies liaison, and women's studies liaison at a college, and yet at some point while you are on that reference desk, somebody is going to come to you with a very hard business question, and you're going to be like, oh my. But one way to prepare yourself for that is to take my class. And again, I used to do it, so even though I'm a mediocre business librarian, I'm not one of the best business librarians out there. The business librarian community is actually associated with this organization within the American Library Association called BRASS. And BRASS networks, they network closely, they have ongoing discussions with each other, they help each other with business questions and all those sorts of things, okay? So BRASS is very active out there, but what I will say is, and business librarians, they take their job very seriously. And so I've seen the great business librarians, right? I've seen the guys who just know it all when it comes to business librarianship. They can answer any business question, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not necessarily that guy. However, I did have enough experience to where I can competently teach the class, okay? And I do competently teach the class. And again, if you know you're going into public services, I really recommend that you take that course, because when you get those business questions, if you don't have that background, if you don't have that training, if you haven't gotten your feet wet, it is a nightmare to stand before somebody and be like, oh my God, what am I doing? Okay. And I don't want that for you all. I want y'all to have this situation where you do have at least some comfort, where if you're asked an industry question, you know the difference between an industry question and a market question, and you know what resources to go to in order to answer those sorts of questions. You know to go to IBIS World if you have an industry related question and things of that nature, okay? So I want to prepare you, and I do enjoy teaching that class. I hate that I only teach it every other year, but the reason I teach it every other year is because students are scared to take it. And what I'm going to say is, if you are scared to take it, that can bite you in the rear end later, because just because you are scared to take that business class and therefore don't take the business class, that doesn't mean that somebody's not going to come to you with a business question. And then also there, I'm talking specifically with academic libraries there, but I had to answer business questions and work with entrepreneurs when I was a public librarian as well. And you will get a lot of people who come into the public library looking for resources to start a business. My class will help you get those people up and going, okay? So I want you all to be aware of that, think about those things, and just be ready to do the dang thing. So taking the business class and taking the health librarianship class, those are classes that, again, are going to help you for when you have those questions that are kind of outside of your comfort area. And who knows, you might take those classes and decide, oh, I do want to be a business librarian. Oh, I do want to be a nursing librarian. And if that happens to you, all the better, all the more power to you. That is awesome. So I would love to see some of you all in that role. So that's my recommendation there. And that is pretty much it, really. After making those recommendations, all I'm going to say to you from there is, just do well in this program. Couple weeks ago, I did talk about, just following directions and following rubrics and things like that. Asking questions of the professor when you need to and that sort of thing. Just don't be hesitant to do those things, okay? I want to see all of you successful. And seeing all of you successful, I want to see all of you successful even beyond this program. I want to see all of you successful in your librarianship careers. And the only way that's going to come is if you are able to complete tasks appropriately. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I will be, for those of you who might want to, I do have, believe it or not, I don't know if any of y'all will believe this, but believe it or not, I do have students that actually sign up to take some of my classes specifically just because they like how I teach. If that is you, I would love to have you back. So the classes I'll be teaching this fall are going to be intellectual freedom, reference which you're taking, so that doesn't count. But intellectual freedom and academic libraries, I teach those every fall. And then again, I teach the business course. Excuse me. Oh, God. Sorry. In the spring of 2027, I will be teaching the business librarianship course. It's going to be an 8-week course. It's not going to be that hard, folks. It's not going to be that labor intensive. And because a lot of 8-week courses actually are really labor intensive, and this is not one of those courses, okay? And then I'll also teach cultural heritage every single spring. So hopefully you will join me for those classes. All right. But yeah, I hope this isn't the last time that I'm going to see you all. But from here, if you're taking summer school, enjoy it, hopefully. But if you're taking the summer off, then just remember, you deserve that rest. And you do need that rest. You do need to kind of recharge. And so don't let anybody shame y'all if you are actually taking the summer off and deciding, yes, I'm going to use this summer to get some rest. By all means, do that. It can do nothing but prepare you to come full steam ahead when it's time to take your classes in the fall. So there we go. I am Dr. Jace, and I have enjoyed being with y'all in this space. All good things, though, come to an end. Take care, and have a blessed and wonderful summer.